Okay, welcome to the Board of Supervisors regular meeting for Monday, July 6th, 2026, and hope everybody had a great 4th of July. This meeting will be recorded on Zoom and with a slight delay on YouTube. The township will accept public comments remotely via Zoom only. Remote participants are asked to remain muted except for when speaking. And during opportunities for public comment, the chair will first ask for public comment from in-person attendees, followed by a public comment from remote participants. If you would like to make a comment remotely, raise your hand in Zoom and turn your camera on. When the chair calls on you, unmute yourself and state your name and address for the meeting minutes. Is anybody recording the meeting? Okay, looks like nobody is recording. So let's call this meeting to order and do the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, so we're going to address the supervisor appointment. So just giving a little bit of background information here. Former supervisor Ed Yost moved out of the township and resigned as supervisor. Pursuant to the second-class township code, the Board of Supervisors has the authority to make an appointment to fill the vacant position within 30 days of the effective date of the resignation. At the regularly scheduled meeting, the Board of Supervisors held on June 15th, Frederick Magner was sworn in to fill the vacant seat. However, it was later determined that the board had failed to make a motion and take a vote on the appointment. So we made the appointment. We forgot to make the motion to approve it, which means the board's action to make the appointment was not effective. So we want to dot the i's and cross the t's. When the Board of Supervisors does not fill a vacancy within 30 days after the vacancy occurs, the vacancy shall be filled by the vacancy board within 15 days. Therefore, a special meeting of the Vacancy Board of Westtown Township was convened earlier this evening for the purpose of making an appointment to fill the vacant seat of the Westtown Township Board of Supervisors. And Frederick Magner was duly appointed to the vacant seat. So we will now have Frederick sworn in by Melissa Wiakowski of Gothrop Greenwood. Okay.
I, Frederick Magner, do solemnly swear that I will support, obey, defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this Commonwealth, and I will discharge my duties in Westtown Township, Chester County, with fidelity.
You can just please sign there.
Okay.
2 copies of that. Same there. And then if you can find just to sign the other way here. Right. Can't see it, right there. Okay.
All done?
Thank you.
Thank
That's
you.
it for me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so next we have ratification of prior board action. Recognizing that the appointment of the vacant seat was not effective, the board now moves to take further action to ensure that any doubt as to the effectiveness of all business conducted at the June 15th, 2026 meeting is removed. So I will move to reaffirm and ratify all action taken at the regular township meeting held on June 15th, 2026. Is ratified.
Do we have any comments from the board?
We need a second.
Oh, sorry.
Second.
Oh, I second it.
You second it?
Can I second
Okay.
it? Okay.
No comments.
Okay.
So no board comments
No board comments.
and then public comment.
Yep. Okay, so do we have any comments from the in-house audience here today? Okay. Any comments from the online audience? Okay. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Bizarre.
Okay. So prior to tonight's meeting, the board met in executive session to discuss legal and personnel matters. In the workshop, the board met to discuss the refuse fund for the 2027 budget and to review current refuse and recycling services contracts and to accept public comment. And moving on to approve the meeting minutes from June 15th, 2026. I need a motion,
Make a motion to approve.
those minutes. Okay.
Second?
Thank you. Any comments from the board? Any comments from the in-house audience? Okay.
All in favor?
Wait, she has.
Oh,
Patricia Ryan Platt, Edgewood Chase Drive. I just want to point out that under public comments, I don't know what page this is, 7, I think. All of my comments were not recorded. I would like to it also show that I also commented that myself and many other members of the audience were disappointed at Supervisor Foster changing his mind about when he said he would be open to changing the wording on the comprehensive plan. And that people were very frustrated that one thing is said at one meeting, 2 weeks later, something else is said. So I would like that also included in the minutes.
Yeah, the meeting minutes, original meeting minutes were about 20 pages long. We were trying to condense them to be under 10 pages to reflect just the spirit of the meeting.
It's under 10 pages.
Okay.
Is that?
Do we want to change it? have
do we want
time.
to make those adjustments or?
Okay. I mean, let's
Okay.
record them. That's fine.
So we'll make a new motion to,
Or amend it, just amend it to add
Yeah.
the changes as addressed.
right?
Okay.
Thank you.
So do we need to make a new motion?
So friendly correction to the motion, we will just adjust the wording as suggested by, what's her name again?
That's Pat, right?
Yeah.
Right, Mrs. Platt, right? Wait
Okay.
a second.
Okay, I'll second. Okay, any comments from the board?
None?
Any comments from the in-house audience? Any comments from the online audience? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, so moving on to departmental reports. We have Mark Gross here from Public Works.
Well,
Welcome,
that's
Mark.
pretty hard to follow, but this is a bit boring, but I'll try to do my best here. We've had quite a bit of time with the road department spent with mowing fields, roadsides, and clearing intersections with obstructing vegetation for safe passage at stop signs and whatnot. Continual thing, but that's normal for this time of year. We've had quite a few trees come down also. In fact, we had one last night again. Come down after hours with windstorms that blow through. A lot of leaves on the trees and they're heavy at this point. And once the wind gets to them, they will come down. And unfortunately, they do go across the roads. But so far, everything's been working fine. We're continuing to utilize our roadside mowing equipment to just keep the vegetation tamed. On the buildings, we had our contractors in to service all the air conditioning units between the mansion, this building, and the Public Works garage. And also the sewer plant. We had to make a repair down there on that in the laboratory, the air conditioner for that. We did some work down at the Darlington Inn. It looks like PennDOT is slowly coming to a close on their construction, but the weeds from their temporary fencing were really getting out of hand. So we took their security fence down, and we went through and mowed the weeds down, and we'll start putting that on a regular, like 2-week mowing schedule to get the place looking back in order again. We also met with PennDOT contractor in the Darlington Inn. Before construction, they did a vibrations study on the building. They looked at it for cracks and known defects. And then after construction, they came back here last week, had the same person come back and just look at the cracks to see if they increased or not. And we're awaiting a report on that. That was all part of the PennDOT contract because they were using vibration and compaction equipment so close to property. In the park, we've utilized some really good labor from our members at FU and some members of the EAC working on landscape beds, watering trees. We've got quite a few new trees in the park from 2 construction projects, and these folks have really helped us out because it is time consuming and labor intensive. So I do thank the members of the 2 committees that are working on there. We have a upcoming project at the mansion to replace the parking lot lights in the original parking lot. So part of that'll be a contract that you're voting on tonight, but part of that, we needed to do a junction box for the electrical tie-ins to get it outside the mansion and tie it into our control system, which we had that done last week. And coming up for on upcoming projects, we have a few trees to take down as a precursor to that construction project. Wastewater side, we've got 2 operators, and at the end of this week, we'll be down to 1 wastewater operator. We had one move on to greener pastures, so we're back looking into the labor pool, we'll be trying to hire someone for that position. And the Pleasant Grove Pump Station is coming along. We are still held up with the electrical cutover from PECO. Now that they're on strike, that's even going to be put further back. But I guess say any month now. We are going to be running on the new pumps probably in another week and a half, 2 weeks, using the existing electrical feed. And then coming up for future projects for this coming month, doing some stormwater repairs to the stormwater collection system and inlets. And like I had mentioned previous, the tree work at the mansion. So that's all I have. If there's any questions, I'd be glad to entertain them.
No questions?
All right.
No.
Thank you.
Quick question.
Good.
For Mark, I know it's not really your department, but do you know when PennDOT's gonna repave South Concord from 926 up to Westbourne?
That is-
Now that the heavy.
That is our department. That is.
No, but you don't, but I thought as a PennDOT was gonna do it though.
No, that's
Okay,
a PennDOT project.
then I am talking. about
Okay.
PennDOT. So what do you got?
We have that section out to bid right now.
Okay,
And hopefully by the next meeting, I think we're going to have that on the agenda. Yeah, so the next meeting we should have, provided we get acceptable bids, we should have an award lined up for that one.
great, thank you.
So you're welcome.
Any other questions? Okay, next, the Planning Commission. I know, Jack, you didn't have a meeting the last time, but do you have an update? Okay.
Jack Embeck, 189 Pheasant Run Road. We decided to, as you said, cancel the June 16th meeting. There were no pending applications, and the staff had not completed various ordinance drafting projects. We could not get Chester County to come and talk to us about conservation design and replacement for the flex development ordinance, which the Board of Supervisors recently rescinded. For Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, we are going to review the Westtown School application for a new dining hall. We expect to talk about pipeline-related ordinance issues, and we might even be able to deal with some conservation design discussion. Are there any questions?
Thanks, Jack. Okay, the Historical Commission.
Yes, on our meeting, we talked about the historic ordinance and trying to get that approved. Mila is putting together a draft letter as the board's request to send out to affected homeowners and property owners that would fall under this new ordinance. Neela also presented a draft updated map that has all the properties listed as requested as part of the ordinance. We did note to Mila that the corner of 926 and 202 was excluded, AKA the Darlington Inn, and we just asked that that would be corrected as that part of the map there. And then the other was, we're hoping to have a public meeting to discuss the historic ordinance sometime between August and September. And to do so, we just wanted to offer Mila, if any assistance you need with that draft letter, the commission can certainly provide you with the draft if need be. We also talked about the history, Westtown history book that's still ongoing. I think we added Mila to the Google Drive. You haven't been added yet? Okay, well, I'll correct that personally. Get you connected so you can review that. The hope is obviously get it published by Westtown Day and get it and sell it there. The American 250 events, we actually finalized a summer student essay contest, which is happening, and we published that in some of the notifications. On June 13th, we had a history lecture at Oakbourne Mansion and the Water Tower, which was a sold-out event. I think there was over 70 people there, and we got rave reviews on that, and that was so well received. We're hoping to do that again because it was so limited access because of the size of the venue. We had on June 27th sort of a Voices of the Founding Father, Commissioner member David Walker. He basically had his son in period costume to recite Patrick Henry's "Give Me Liberty" speech, and also spoke of the Declaration of Independence, read the Declaration of Independence. So "Dare to Declare" is what they call it around the county. And then on, I guess the other thing we're having is the next thing. I'm just making sure I got this all correct. Perfect. Yep. We did looking at for some mini grants from the Chester County Foundation, American 250. We're hoping to get some mini grants from them. We're finding out that the money is running out pretty quickly, so we might miss the boat on that one. But we're still going to try to see if we get something from there. And then sort of upcoming events is on September 19th. We're going to give a lecture on the historic Darlington Inn / Westtown Inn. And it's funny, on our website, at the township website, they do mention a virtual walkthrough with photographs and a digital scan of the inn. So we're hoping to have that presented during that lecture series. And that's it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Are there any questions?
Nope.
Oh, and on the 28th, we're having township book discussion with Jennifer Green on July 28th.
Okay, thanks, Pat. All right, so moving on to the Environmental Advisory Council.
Good evening, staff members and supervisors. EAC last met on June 23rd. And under old business, the EAC discussed current progress with the Route 926 roadside cleanup event. Everything's on schedule and everything's in place for that. Also discussed the pollinator garden proposal that we submitted and reviewed with the Board of Supervisors back at an earlier workshop meeting. And there's no word on that grant application yet. And as Pat just reported, it sounds like some of the funds are drying up grant-wise, but we have a couple other grant options that we're looking into. And also under old business, we continue to plan for our West Town Day activities. Under new business, the EAC welcomed Shriner Tree Care's offer to provide another speaker series session to raise awareness within the community regarding beech leaf disease. That speaker series session will be held at the Township Building on July 19th at 1 o'clock. And if you have beech trees or on your property, or if you care for beech trees in a woodland, we encourage you to attend the session to learn more about what beech leaf disease is and what we can do as a community to support the pause on that disease. That's it. Any
Thanks, Jeff.
questions?
No, thank you.
Okay, and our township solicitor.
All right, thank you, Madam Chairman or Chairwoman. My name is Theodore Speedy. I'm standing in for Pat McKenna as the solicitor tonight. As a very short report, the office has assisted, has continued to assist with the advertisement of the zoning map amendment and other procedural requirements. We've also assisted the township and the manager in other general legal issues as they arise. And I would like to note that prior to tonight's meeting, the board did meet in executive session to discuss personnel and litigation matters and to receive other legal advice. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Okay. And Mila, township manager.
Yeah, so this month we started review budget for getting ready for 2027. We did an overview of open space fund, refuse fund, and liquid fuel funds for now, and created a budget review timeline and a schedule just to make sure that our financial consultant and other individuals who are involved in compiling budget together understand the timelines, and those would be presented to the Board of Supervisors. We've also done some capital projects planning, looking at extensively at larger projects for next year. So that would be up for the discussion at the next board's meeting. We'll do an overview of the general operating budget and dive into some of the capital improvements that are proposed for next year. At the same time, we've done some work on ordinance amendments. As Jack reported on, we are working on pipeline safety related provisions. Planning Commission made a recommendation to divide it into 3 categories. Some of those provisions might be in zoning, others might be in subdivision and land development. So they are quite extensive. So I hope to receive some feedback from the Planning Commission on Wednesday to see which direction they recommend to go in terms of finalized language. We're also looking at conservation design samples from adjacent municipalities and the templates to see what would be a good template to start to replace the flexible development procedure. We are reviewing land development plans for West Town School Dining Hall. And we received notification today from DEP that the NPDES permit for Stonecraft Stokes Estate land development has been approved. Their sewage planning module is still pending, but we're expecting the land development plans to be provided within next month or so. So it would be on the Board of Supervisors agenda. In terms of code enforcement, we've received quite a few complaints about bamboo. It seems that there is a lot of bamboo encroachments that are happening in the community that neighbors requesting township help in addressing. What we would recommend for bamboo owners to do is to obtain the services of professional landscapers because every bamboo is different. You have to identify how to treat it. But the way that regulations are written, bamboo owners are responsible to ensure that no encroachment is occurring on adjacent property and public right-of-ways. And we've gotten quite a few complaints about parking on grass. That might be due to the fact that kids are back from school. But as you drive around West Town Township, you would see quite a few cars being parked on grass, which is not permitted by the township code. And we wrapped up the RFP for Craigbilly Preserve that is scheduled to go out if authorized sometime this week. And hopefully we will see some proposals. That's it.
Thanks, Mila.
Sure.
Okay, and moving on to public comment for non-agenda items. Sure.
Sort of ties in with what you mentioned about parking on the grass. Yes, my name is Debbie Arnold. I'm from, my address is 1142 Pension Hall Road, Westchester. I'm in the Pleasant Grove development. This is a development of 304 homes. I'm calling because I got the West Town newsletter, very nice. But I was surprised about the comment in the drawing, which is kind of hard to read for people, but the parking on the grass comment and the fact that you can't park in the lower part of your own driveway, I need clarification on that, and I'd like to know when that was developed. When was that code passed?
2003, even before my time here. And we've just noticed that we've had a lot of permits for driveway expansion, and this subject came up. It is within the provision that says that it's under off-street parking. It says that the first half of your front yard cannot be used for parking. It should only be reserved for a driveway. But it should not be used as parking for residential property. So that's why we put that information for people to know that if you are in fact parking within your first 50% of your yard, you are in violation of the ordinance. So if these provisions do not work for West Town community, then we should look into changing those. Because we've seen quite a few driveway expansions just because it's not enough parking areas for all those cars.
Right. I think
So
this
I'm
needs to
glad
be
that you were here.
revisited. I'd like to see this revisited and added
Yes.
to the next agenda, if we could do that.
Yes, if you don't mind sending me an email, it's lcarter@westtown.org.
Right.
I'll send you the link to the language where it is. And I think the good place to start would be a planning commission, because planning commission ultimately makes recommendations to the Board of Supervisors on zoning provisions.
Right, and that you would include for
That's on
me,
Wednesday.
the way we go about changing the code, right? You'll
Correct.
provide that information to me.
Yes, I can do that. Yeah, I can do that about the process and how it works. Yes. And the
Great.
planning commission meeting is on Wednesday, this Wednesday. So if you would like to come to that meeting and bring up that issue, that
What
would be
time?
great. 7 p.m.
Okay, great. I'll
Yep.
be there.
Yep, that's good.
Pat McDonough, 7 Oakbourne Road, Westchester. This is great timing, Mila, because I think maybe a year ago I brought this up, actually brought photographs of my neighborhood, because I think it is definitely a huge issue in our neighborhood. If you go down Stanton Avenue, we just had a recent homeowner pave his front grass up to the sidewalk and is now parking 2 vehicles there on top of the sidewalk, which is one of the rare places that actually have a public sidewalk.
Yeah.
And if you go down Stanton Avenue, people have now continue, now that the precedent has been set, they're starting to pave those areas and parking vehicles there. And same thing on Oakbourne Road. We have several renters that are in on that street. And we have several of them parking commercial vehicles on their front lawn. So I think I brought this up. I didn't know what the township can do. Do they send a notification? Can you leave a note or a letter or something to sort of reinforce? And is there any provision to, fine them or penalize them or basically
No,
review them?
no, because it's a zoning violation, it had to go through a proper procedure, which is a warning letter, the notice of violation, and then we have to file with the district court. And then the township has to prove the largest fine amount, I believe, is $50. So if they found to be in violation, I believe it's only $50 that the township would be able to recoup. But it is becoming a problem because we see it as we are reviewing permit application, we see it on aerial views that a lot of our residents are expanding parking or parking cars and boats, their work cars on grass. So it's really worth revisiting. The way that regulations written now, the developer is required to provide 3 parking areas for residential properties, but that includes garage. So if your garage is occupied or you use it as storage, then you might not have enough parking areas to park all those cars. So it's definitely a problem. My suggestion would be to revisit that with the planning commission, review those parking provisions and see if there are any changes that can be made, because it's not just Stanton, it's everywhere in the township.
Because that area of the township is very dense, houses
Exactly.
close together. And I don't know, could you, maybe go out and tell them that you can't pave that? Because I mean, now that it's already paved and they're parking there.
So we do go after retroactive work. So if any work was done, we do issue a warning letter and request to provide a retroactive permit application that we review. If they found to be in violation, they have to remove it. So if you give me an address or I can drive by, it's.
I think you can basically drive on Stanton Avenue.
Okay.
I think every other house, and the recent one is right on the corner of Stanton Avenue and I don't know what the cross street is,
Okay.
Shiloh, I think it is. But that's
Walnut?
recent.
Is it Walnut?
Walnut, yes, South
Yeah.
Walnut, corner of South Walnut and Stanton.
And Stanton.
Just put down very nice pavement. They didn't use asphalt, but they used some sort of very nice looking pavement. But they did do it. They had to hire a contractor. They came in.
And
Hey.
we do remind the residents that if you are expanding your driveway, changing the access and adding any additional impervious, whether it's gravel, river rock to park your cars, you are required to apply for a permit. And you probably have to do stormwater management on your property to be able to do that.
Yeah, because I think last year, one of my neighbors wanted to put parking in their front yard and had a contractor on site. And I think because a township citizen called and said, hey, FYI, you can't do that. And then I think someone came and said, hey, you can't do that. So the contractor stopped and had to remove the portion that he put in there. So it's unusual for our sort of my neck of the woods because it's not like Pleasant Grove where big lawns, long driveways, we're literally next to each other. So when you have another car parking, and particularly on the corner of Oakbourne and Matlack, someone has done the same thing and is so much so has parked his truck and put for sale sign on the truck right at that intersection and is blocking the view for people pulling in and out of that corner, that intersection. So I get it. There's limited parking. I understand they need it. But I think in that instance, it might be PennDOT might be notified because it's restricting your field of
The
vision.
movement on that.
Why don't we can send emails and figure it all out.
Yep.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
I need to say something.
Sure.
I appreciate certain streets that are very limited in parking. And I think he's right, Pleasant Grove, we have long driveways. but you're basically condemning the bottom half of my driveway for my own personal use, for which I pay taxes. How can you condemn the bottom half of my driveway for my personal use? How can you do that? And why would you do that? In the newsletter, it says it's for safety and beautification. If you can prove to me that that truck that's parked at Matlab and Oakhorn or wherever that street is, I did see that. Can you prove to me it's a safety issue? Great, then you have grounds. You have grounds. But otherwise, you are affecting a person's personal property, and now you're stepping on rights. And I think that's a big issue.
And I believe you're going to attend the planning commission meeting, so you can talk about it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's move it on. Anything else? Okay. All right, yes.
Oh,
Anthony,
there's one hand, I'm sorry. Anthony Simkovich?
yes.
Go ahead, you can unmute yourself.
Yep. Anthony Simkovich, 821 Kimberly Lane here in Westtown. Question for Chairperson Naraki. Back on the April 20th meeting where Board of Supervisors issued a statement via previous Supervisor Yost, was that ever issued publicly as a PR release or put anywhere out in the public media?
That Ed resigned?
No, that the statement about Krebly? That was done
Wait,
at the beginning of the meeting?
Can you ask me the question again? I'm sorry, I think I heard something completely different from what you said.
At the April 20th meeting, right at the beginning, the Board of Supervisors issued a statement about Krebly development along the 202 corridor. Was that ever issued as a public press release or anything beyond just being stated at the meeting?
Okay, I understand what you're saying. No, it was just minuted in the meeting minutes.
But it wasn't done verbatim in the minutes, was it? It was kind of paraphrased. Can we get the actual text of that loaded onto the township website under the Krebly section?
It's up to the board. I don't remember what that statement says. I mean, I can watch over the video. Usually in the meeting minutes, we do not include statements per verbatim.
But he was reading it verbatim when he presented it, Mr. Yost, so there should be a paper copy
Yes, and
around
it's-
somewhere.
Yes, and it's normal. Board of Supervisors do provide statements, but we do not normally include them in full. But I can, if that's what the supervisors would like to do. I don't remember what the statement said now.
I'm sure we could find
I
it.
can resend it.
Yeah, if you could post that on the Krebly website, and I know you just put the new RFP people on there, and it's important as a permanent reference point. So if I could request that, that would be
Okay.
great.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, that's it. Thank you much.
Thanks.
Thank you. Any other comments?
20 years. Okay.
Okay, so we're going to move on to old business first, and I will open the public hearing to consider amendments to the township official zoning map. So pursuant to the Pennsylvania Municipalities Code, the township needs to conduct a public hearing on the proposed amendments to the township official zoning map prior to formally amending the map by the adoption of the proposed ordinance. The proposed changes are amendments to certain zoning district boundaries depicted on the township official zoning map, which was last amended on July 17th, 2017. These amendments include the following changes to the existing zoning district boundaries. The first one is township-owned Cravelly Preserve property of 204.04 acres, UPI 67-4-29.4, from AC, which is Ag Cluster Residential, to T Township District. Second is township-owned Darlington Inn property of 2 acres, UPI 67-4-29.4B, from AC, once again, Ag Cluster Residential, to C1, Neighborhood and Highway Commercial District. So that's still residential and commercial. The third part is portion of the township property of 0.34 acres located between Wilmington Pike and Old Wilmington Pike, UPI 67-4-36, from Ag Cluster to Township District. And then the fourth one is Westminster Presbyterian Church, property of 21.04 acres, UPI 67-4-29.4A, from Ag Cluster to Residential 3, which is a residence office district. And then the last one is a portion of the Westtown Village Shopping Center property, UPI 67-4-63, from AC to C1 Neighborhood and Highway Commercial District. The Chester County Planning Commission, CCPC, and the Westtown Planning Commission, PC, has reviewed the proposed amendments and provided their recommendations. The review letter by the CCPC and meeting minutes of the Westtown PC are attached. We have them in our packets. The effective property owners, including Westminster Presbyterian Church and Westtown Village LP, have been notified via mail on May 29th, 2026. The hearing was duly advertised in the Daily Local News on June 15th and June 22nd, 2026. The affected properties have been posted on June 17th, 2026. Okay, and I need to close the hearing now. And motion.
Motion to adopt the ordinance 2026-5, amending the township official zoning map.
Second?
Any comments from the board?
No?
Any comments from the in-house audience?
Pat McDonough, 7 Oakbourne Road, Westchester. As part of that adoption of that zoning change, I did notice that we're changing the Darlington Inn from agricultural residential to commercial, neighborhood commercial C1. And part of that, I'll just read from the Westtown Comprehensive Plan that was just recently passed. Chapter 3, actually, I'll go back here. Chapter 6 says a critical function of local regulations is to protect historic resources to its fulfilled the mandate of MPC that, quote, and this is in here, zoning ordinances shall provide for the protection of natural and historic features and resources, a mandate that is clearly established historic preservation as a legitimate public purpose for local government. And in the changing of the zoning towards the Darlington Inn, I think you had heard from the Preservation Alliance, from the Westtown Planning Commission, Westtown Zoning Board, Westtown Historic Commission, even the Chester County Planning Commission, even mentioned in that letter that you referenced, the township should continue their ongoing efforts for preservation and adaptive reuse of this historic resource, Darlington Inn. If this parcel is to be sold or rezoned, then the township should consider putting safeguards in place. For instance, in parentheses, a historic preservation easement to protect Westtown Township from demolition or remodeling. And that's in the letter that you've referenced. The Preservation Alliance, even when they came here and presented to you, they said, while rezoning might allow for greater development, an easement binds the owner to retain the historic integrity, limiting changes that would normally be permitted under new zoning regulations.
Okay.
So the sort of, and I know I'm a dead horse here. I know I've come before the board fighting, trying to save the Darlington Inn, and I do get a sense that the township does want to do something with it, whether it's auction it off or sell it. And in the sort of the rezoning it to commercial, this is a great opportunity to put those facade easements in place, as even mentioned in your own comprehensive plan.
Right. So is there a restriction on putting those easements on the Darlington Inn after we change the zoning?
There is no restrictions.
Exactly.
Yep.
So
we're still considering possibly putting those easements in place.
can you tell me what your opinion is of adaptive reuse?
I think it's a great opportunity to do adaptive reuse. Absolutely. I think and that's where I think the township has an opportunity to provide adaptive reuse.
I agree. And I think the way to be able to use the building to the best use is through changing the zoning.
Mhm. And I think what I'm hoping for is in this process of rezoning, which, our comprehensive plan and the Chester County Planning Commission is suggesting and recommending, is that you put those protective regulations on the building in the process of rezoning the
So
property.
your comment, I just want to make sure I understand, your comment is just, please consider adding the
Facade
easement,
easements.
the facade easements.
Yep.
We got you.
Perfect. And the other thing I wanted to sort of clarify is with PennDOT expanding their easement into expansion of 926 and 202, does that make the 2-acre parcel now smaller and under 2 acres? Because now there's a eminent domain where they've taken certain acreage from that property, and will it now be below two acres, which is what a commercial C1 property has to be?
That easement was already calculated before the township acquired Crabilly Preserve, including the inn. So it's a 2-acre property outside of that easement.
So, yeah, because it said like 2.0111. So I'm assuming that 111 was for the eminent domain that PennDOT took.
Yeah, that's a separate, it was before the acquisition.
Yeah.
The
Perfect.
PennDOT acquired that.
Okay. Great. So that's all I'm asking.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
Yep.
Any other comments?
Okay, call for the vote.
And well, we need to do
Oh, there's
virtual audience.
somebody,
So this is all the changes that were going to be made. That
Name and
you
address,
showed.
please.
Oh, yeah, we need your name and
Brian
address.
Platt, 1069 Edgewood Chase.
Thank you.
I know the last meeting, right, the map that you had pulled up before, the far lower corner there, where I had pointed out that back in 1995, I only just found the files, there was acreage that was supposed to be protected. And under this map, it was marked as unprotected and possible development. If you can go to the full
oh,
rectangle map,
yeah, we are not,
That's not included.
that's not included for this?
No.
So that map is not included?
no, the only, so the only, it's better on visual than when it's written down. So this is 2 map. This is an existing one to the left, and to the right is a new one. All that's changing, the green AC, now it's a brand new parcel, becomes a T for the township because it's deed restricted, the same as Oakbourne Park. Westminster Presbyterian, from instead of being AC, it's R3 zoning district, now encompasses Westminster Presbyterian. And then this corner that was C1, this 2-acre property, Darlington Inn, becomes C1. Here is 2 tiny parcels between Old Wilmington and Wilmington Pike. The first one is actually a part of the entire shopping center. They've done the consolidated deed back in 2012, but the Chester County Deeds Office never recorded it this way. So they are trying to actually make a correction to that. But this should have been zoned the same way as the rest of the shopping center. And then this tiny corner, this is township-owned property that's been owned by the township for a very long time. So it's this property, this property, this property, and there's 2 tiny lots that they change in zoning.
So if there are any other mistakes on that map, they can be fixed as it is? Like, this is the map.
This
that-
is a zoning,
Yeah.
zoning
know.
map.
No, I know. What I'm interested in is we are the furthest eastern street in West Town.
Okay, I'm
And
scrolling.
there are 2 parcels.
Yes. Can we move on? Because this doesn't have to do with what we're talking about.
Okay, my question is, if there's a mistake on this map,
It can
can
be,
it be fixed at a later date?
yes,
Fine,
Okay.
that's all I needed.
we're good. Okay, thank you. Any other comments from the virtual audience? Okay, moving on. I need a motion. Go ahead.
Motion to adopt,
Yeah, yeah.
Motion to adopt ordinance 2026-5, amending the township official zoning map.
Okay, and we did the comments from the board, the audience, and the virtual audience. We're good?
Okay.
All right.
So we second it. Now we'll
Yes.
call for the vote.
Yes, so all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. New business, considering the contract award for Oakmore Mansion parking and lighting upgrades. So the township received 8 bids for the Oakmore Mansion parking lot paving and lighting improvements project. Pannoni has reviewed the bids and recommends that awarding the contract to Ernal Co. Incorporated, the lowest qualified bidder, with a base bid of $197,670 and a base bid plus both alternate amounts of $238,070, contingent upon their execution of the contract and supply of the required bonds and insurance. The township budgeted $300,000 from the capital projects fund toward the project. Mila, do we have any updates?
Yes, so 2 alternates that we are looking at. One includes the paving of the circle in front of the mansion and reconfiguration of that small island area. And then the second one has to do with electrical poles. So I believe that township staff recommends to award the bid for alternate 1, but to hold off on alternate 2 because of the cost. So the total bid award amount would be $197,670 plus alternate 1 of $20,000, $20,400, which amounts to $218,000 and 70. 218,70, 070.
Got it. Thank you. Okay. So can I get a motion to approve?
Motion needed to award the Oakmore Mansion parking and lighting upgrade contract to ML Country in the amount of
218.
$218,070.
and contingent upon the execution of the contract and supply of required bonds and insurance.
Second.
Any comments from the board?
None?
Any comments from the in-house audience? Any comments from the virtual audience? Okay, I'm sorry, I saw something. Okay, we're good? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Need to authorize advertisement of a request for proposal for the Craigbilly Preserve Master Plan. The RFP for a qualified consultant to assist with the development of the Craigbilly Preserve Master Plan as required by the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources, DCNR, grant guidelines includes project background, scope of work, consultant qualifications, submittal requirements, evaluation criteria, and a sample professional services agreement. The scope of work includes site inventory and analysis, public participation, design concepts and recommendations, stewardship planning, and operations and maintenance considerations. Public engagement will include a study committee, public meetings, focus groups, stakeholder interviews, community surveys, pop-up events, and a project webpage. The RFP has been reviewed and approved by DCNR. Public notice will be placed in the daily local news, and the RFP will be posted on the township website and distributed to firms that have expressed interest. DCNR does not prescribe the specific RFP duration. It requires a reasonable, open, and competitive solicitation period appropriate to the complexity of the project. Proposals are due by 4:30 p.m. on August 21st, 2026. Can I get a motion to authorize?
Motion to authorize advertisement of the RFP for Craigbilly Preserve Master Plan.
Second?
Okay, any comments from the board?
No?
Comments from the in-house audience? Okay, and comments from the online audience? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
More to go.
Yeah. We're going to consider escrow release number 1 for Westtown AM West TIC LLC land development project. Cedarville Engineering recommends that the township release financial security associated with progress at the Westtown Marketplace Shopping Center for the construction of Chase Bank, 1506 Westchester Pike, and a bus stop ramp. Completed work includes site work, stripping and signage, storm drainage, sanitary sewer, landscaping, electric and communications, lighting, soil erosion and sediment control, and site clearing and demolition. Financial security is currently held in the form of a bond issued by Atlantic Specialty Insurance Company in accordance with the executed financial security agreement dated February 18th, 2025.
To approve the escrow release number 1 to Westtown AM West TIC LLC in the amount of $489,147.90.
Second?
Do you have any comments from the board? Comments from the in-house audience? Comments from the online audience? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, on to announcements. This is the fun part.
That's the fun part.
So the Environmental Advisory Council has a vacancy. Township is seeking interested candidates for appointment to the EAC. Residents with an interest in environmental issues and sustainability are encouraged to apply. For more information, visit the EAC webpage or contact the township manager. And I've gone to their meetings and they're actually very interesting, so check it out. Events that are coming up, we have Club Mahjong, Wednesday, July 8th at 10 a.m. Family Yoga with Miss Rebecca, Wednesday, July 8th at 6:30 p.m. Yard waste is collected on Friday, July 10th. We have an ice cream hike with Hiking Hound Adventures on Monday, July 13th at 6:30 p.m. They're making ice cream. That'll be fun. Puzzle Palooza, Tuesday, July 14th at 6 p.m. Yoga for Adults, Tuesdays, July 14th through August 25th at 7 p.m. Mammals, a PA nature program with the PA Game Commission on Wednesday, July 15th at 10:30 a.m. The EAC Tree Care Workshop that Joe had told us about, the beech leaf disease, on Sunday, July 19th at 1 p.m. with Michael Schreiner, Schreiner. And the P&R Summer Concert, Wednesday, July 22nd at 6 p.m. Do we have any public comments on all topics?
Just want to add, we now have a new vacancy on the Historic Commission due to Mr. Magner's appointment to the Board of Supervisors. So I just want to make that announcement.
Thank you.
Yep.
So please note, we have a vacancy on the Historical Commission as well. And wait, this gentleman over here, are you sure? Okay, yeah, come on. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Patricia Ryan Platt, 1069 Edgewood Chase. I would like to read my letter and the attachments to the supervisors at the Board of Supervisor meeting and have them entered into the official minutes. I object to any supervisor being sworn in this evening to fill the vacancy created when Supervisor Yost resigned. I believe the process that was started on May 18, 2026 was conducted in violation of the Pennsylvania Sunshine Law. Title 65, Part 2, Accountability, Chapter 7, Open Meetings, Section 708A, clearly states the reason when an executive session may be held. An executive session is defined as a meeting that takes place with the public excluded. This provision states, quote, "The provisions of this paragraph shall not apply to any meeting involving the appointment or selection of any person to fill a vacancy in any elected office." The office of supervisor is an elected position, and under the Sunshine Act, deliberations to discuss and select the candidates are to be public, barred from private meetings. None of the deliberations held between May 18th and June 15th were done in a public meeting. So filling an elective office vacancy is not covered by the personnel exception. So I'm requesting the selection process be started over, this time following the correct process, which of course it cannot be because you were already sworn in. So I'm attaching the actual statute and the Township Supervisor's Handbook for vacancies, and more information on the Pennsylvania state law about the Sunshine Act. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do I give it to you? I'll give you now.
How you doing? Bob Marks, 515 Coventry Lane, Robert, if you need the official name. But I'm just here. I'm a member of the Coventry Village Homeowners Association Board. And back on, not throwing you under the bus. Matlack Street Properties, which is to the north end, it's actually in West Goshen, East Goshen, West Goshen, sorry. West Goshen or East Goshen? Yeah, they did some work on their driveway, no permit, no nothing. So I have an email from June 4th, actually, which you sent to them saying you didn't get permits, this, that, and the other. They have not corrected the problem at all. In fact, I went up there 2 weeks ago and all they did was regrade everything, but it's all sloped towards our property. So,
The South Matlack Street?
yes.
Yeah. So they had to do infiltration testing, which they completed. They submitted an engineered plan for the township engineer to review. Normally it takes 30 days for engineering review. We asked them to expedite the review process. Their application includes the removal of the impervious, reseeding, regrading, and installation of stormwater management facilities. So I can follow up with the township engineer this week to see how fast they can get an approval, because they cannot do anything until it's approved, and we are trying to expedite it.
Okay.
But yeah, I understand. I saw the videos.
All right, no, I know our lawyers haven't gotten much information to us and as far as what's going on and all that, so I figured I'd come to the
Yeah,
township meeting just to
no,
find out.
Yep,
So,
that's
all right,
good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Any comments from the online audience?
Oh,
Okay.
yes, Carol DeWolf.
Oh, hey, Carol.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. First of all, I'd like to welcome Dr. Frederick. I am commenting on behalf of Chester County Association of Township Officials. If somebody would please take a picture of him at the dais, I'd like to put it in our Facebook to announce that Westtown has a new supervisor. We do that for all the townships, and track what's going on.
Okay,
The
okay.
other thing is, if you need to have some information about the boot camp for new supervisors, let us know. If you have any questions or we can help you at all on anything, we have an annual meeting in the fall, which we invite everyone to, and the township's been really engaged. But welcome, as a past supervisor, good luck as you continue your work together.
Well, good start.
Thanks,
Thank you, Carol.
Thank you.
Okay, any other comments? All right, payment of bills. I need a motion to,
Vote to approve general fund bills in the amount of 514-576.98, enterprise fund bills of $2,759.64, and debt service bills of $500 for the grand total of 517,836.62.
Second,
any comments from the board? Any comments from the in-house audience? Any comments from the online audience? All in favor?
aye.
Aye. That's great.
Motion to adjourn. So moved.
I second it, yeah. And then we're adjourned.
Second.